Hey, what's going on, everybody? I wanted to do something a little bit different today where you're just going to see past trades that I've taken, like as little clips in the videos. But really, what I wanted to go over today was just kind of have a psychology talk and go over the five biggest lessons that I've learned after 5 years of trading. And I kind of put these together uh, recently after my yearly reflection once 2024 ended, and I thought, if I knew some of these things and had this frame of mind going into trading, whether I was just starting off or a couple months in or even a year in, maybe more, um, I feel like it would have helped me out a lot more just to have realistic expectations because we're in an industry where people are selling you a dream. It's not realistic expectations that people are putting out there. It's, get rich quick or um, get funded and quit your job and all that. And, there are things that I fall into as a newbie, and I'm sure a lot of people still are. But I really just wanted to get into these things because I think they're really going to help um, any struggling trader out there. And now the first thing that I wanted to go over here, and the top of my list of the five biggest lessons that I've learned, this is without a doubt the most important one. Accept that it is going to take longer than you want. And this was one of the biggest realizations for me. One of the toughest things to face as well is accepting that it's going to take longer than I originally wanted. Um, when I was maybe a year into my trading, I thought, "Oh, I'm so close. If I just fix this one thing, like I can tell I'm so close to profitability. I'm almost there." I was telling myself the same thing after 3 years. So you got to have realistic expectations because what's really going to happen is you're going to think that you have it. You're going to think that you got it. Things are going well for maybe a little bit. And then all of a sudden you're going to fall on your face and it's going to feel like you're back at square one when you're multiple years in. And that's just the reality of it. And that's why this industry is so hard and why so many people quit is because they simply just can't handle facing that. It's 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 the toughest industry in the world for a reason is because human psychology is literally not built for trading. You have to you have to detach from human emotion and learn all of these different things about yourself and how you function and how you react, and you got to be able to have that discipline and that emotional maturity to be able to make adjustments in markets that are flying, super quick, extremely volatile, and you got money on the line. One of the most emotional things that people deal with is money on a day-to-day basis. And so when you have all of these different things and different factors playing against you, that's why it's the most difficult thing. And so, it takes a different amount of time for everyone to finally feel like that, they have it for real, right? It's not just like a little fling where, oh, I've had a few good trades and now I think I'm profitable. You have to fall on your face and hit rock bottom multiple times to finally go into it and think, okay, I understand how this actually works now, and I know the things that I need to do. It's just a matter of um, actually doing it. And so once you come to that realization, you've just taken that next step, a huge step into being on the right path, right? Um, Accepting that it's going to take longer than you want is really just how you can go into it with the proper expectations, because if you don't have the right expectations going into this industry, then it's you're going to find out really quick and it's not going to be fun. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. um, you have to go all in. You can't treat trading as a hobby. If you've watched my previous video on how to journal, it's extensive. right? It's literally like running a business. It's if you work a 9 to 5, it's going to be your 5 to 9 after that, and it's not something that you can just take lightly. It's um, if you're going to do it, you got to go all in, and a lot of people just aren't willing to do that, especially with how difficult it is and how many times you're going to face reality and fall on your face, and that's why it's so rewarding in the end. So the quicker that you can accept that it's going to take longer than you want, the absolute better. So that is one of the main things that if you align yourself with that thinking, you're going to be much better off. Now, the second thing that I wanted to get into was comparison is the thief. It, Now, the second thing that I wanted to get into is comparison is the thief of joy. Deleting any kind of social media that's related to trading or just finding a way to stay off of it, more specifically Twitter, you're going to be so much better off. And people take this so lightly. I feel like it's not talked about enough in the trading industry. Twitter is a cancer to a trader. Now, if you can find a way to, block out trading on Twitter, like they have um, words that you can ban, and so on your timeline, anything related to this word or this word won't show up on your timeline. That's something that you need to do with trading. This or with trading and with Twitter and other social medias, right? Because this for a newer trader or someone who doesn't have a model that they trust and that they believe in, it is going to set you back time and time and time again. And I fell victim to this so many times. And the reason why is if you really walk through it. When I said that if you don't have a model and a trading plan that you completely 110% trust in, and this is what you're using without a doubt, you're going to fall victim to chasing the golden egg, right? Everyone on Twitter is a winner. Everyone on Twitter is right all the time. No matter what, if you after a trading day or during the trading day, if you go on Twitter, you're going to see someone making money using this certain strategy, right? And then it's going to be the next best thing. There's going to be drama on Twitter or on social media. People trying to market one concept is better than another, and the way that so many people are marketing right now is drama marketing, right? It's what grabs people's attention nowadays because everyone's attention span is so short. It's just, oh, that looks good, oh, that looks good, let me go over here, let me check this out, let me try this. And if you go on a little bit of a losing streak within your strategy that you're using right now, and you don't 100% trust that a losing streak is necessary for a winning model and don't truly understand that, then you're just going to keep hopping from strategy to strategy. And if you've spent more than a month or two in trading, I'm sure you've heard that, strategy hopping is one of the pitfalls of many traders is they can't stick to a single strategy and trust it and grow and build it. So if you're on Twitter, you're on social media and you're seeing all of these different things, it's going to look better than what you're doing no matter what. You're going to see people making hundreds of thousands of dollars using this other strategy or just something that you haven't seen, and you're going to feel like you need to go back and learn. You need to learn more. You need to watch this YouTube video. This person looks like they're doing well, let me go and check them out. Right, they're trading this strategy, they made this much today and I lost my last 3 trades. What do you think a newbie's going to do? They're going to go in and they're going to try that out and see. And then they're going to do that long enough. And then they're going to go on a losing streak with that and find and see someone else doing something that's working when now the new thing that they just were trying isn't working anymore. They're going to go hop on that new thing. So it's just an endless cycle. in such a huge mistake. And if you can avoid that in the beginning stages when you're still building trust for a strategy, it is going to save you years, years of trial and error, right? The quicker that you can find something and build on it that's simple and easy to follow and you trust it and you don't get distracted by all of these other influencers out there on social media, because that's what they are. They're influencers and marketers, right? The majority of them. There's, of course, people out there who are making a lot of money with trading and they influence others, that aspiring traders, and they have discords. That's great, right? That's, I think that's absolutely necessary, and that's something that I'm going to get into in a little bit here. But the majority of them are marketers trying to market a concept, knowing that trading and that people within trading are the most vulnerable in almost any industry. I think it is so easy to manipulate people who are gamblers and trying to make money in trading when they don't even know what the hell they're doing. It is so easy to grab their attention, and that's all that's going on Twitter right now and on other social medias. So if you can find a way to put on blinders, block that out, put your head down, and find something that works for you, again, it's going to save you unbelievable amounts of time. Now, the third thing that I wanted to get into is the risk manager will outlast and outperform the technical master. And technical master, I think, could be in quotes. And this is something that was such a huge wake up call for me and made me understand what trading is really all about. I would always see trading is 20% technical analysis and 80% psychology, right? And emotional stability. And I never truly understood that. But now, being 5 years in and coming to this realization, I would even argue that trading is 90% psychological and 10% technical ability. It is unbelievable how true that is, because I found it out myself. I've studied so many hours on ICT's YouTube channel. And whether if you're watching this and you trade trend lines or EMAs or whatever the hell, and you think ICT is like the concepts are fraud, that's fine. I don't care. I personally trade ICT. A lot of people do, but this goes for anyone. The the person who is going to manage their risk better is going to outperform the technical master. And what I was going on about was I've studied so many hours and hours and hours of ICT's YouTube channel. Out of the 700 something videos he has in my 2.5 years of studying him, I've probably watched 500 or 600 of those videos, because it was always something that I felt like there was more that I needed to know. There was always something more that could make me a better trader. Like, this wasn't working, so I need to go in and learn more, because this is going to fix this problem and then I'm going to be profitable. It was not like that at all. It took me so long to figure out that if I just had proper risk management and a sound strategy, I would have been where I wanted to be years ago. I would be able to, at the end of the day, of a trading day, or even during the day, like if I was doing live tape reading and stuff like that, I was so, or yeah, I was so skilled at determining order blocks, the right fair value gaps, um, all of these different things, right? Those are things that I use in my trading right now. But I mean, there's like reapers, there's uh, just so many different concepts. I can't even, my head's just kind of swirling right now. But there's just all of these different things that you can apply to your trading to try and make it better. And you're going to think that the more you know, the smarter you are. And that actually comes back to bite you in the ass, because the more you know and the more you study newer things, in my opinion, that's just going to cause you to overthink and deviate from strategy, right? You're going to be thinking, you're going to be second guessing everything, because you're going to think, well, my model's showing right here, but this level in this strategy is telling me not to enter here. And then there's this thing that's really close to my level where I wanted to enter. So maybe I won't enter that. uh, but this is also telling me to enter. So it's like, what do I do? And then you're all of a sudden the trade's going off without you. And if you just had a simple strategy, you would be in that trade profiting already, right? And I fell victim to that, and it made me overthink everything, and it's developed bad habits that I still fight off every single day. Where it's, I think I'm smarter than the markets, and so if I take a loss, I'm gonna go back in there and trade until I'm right. That is what that's one of the bad habits that I developed by learning ICT. And that's not to say that it was his fault. It's my trading, right? It's just the way that he markets and the way that he talks in his, um, his lectures and his spaces and things like that, like his Twitter spaces when he would do those. Um, I wanted to be like him in the level of precision that I would see. It was like, okay, I want to be able to do that. And whenever that wasn't showing up in the charts when I thought it should have been, like, I thought, if I thought that I was right with this trade, it's just I got in at the wrong time, then I'm going to keep trying again until I get it right. And that's why the technical master will never outperform the risk manager. The risk manager has a strategy that they have back tested, they learn, they know it like the back of their hand, and all that it takes now is sound risk management, not over trading, and they are going to perform miles better than someone who knows every order block, every new week opening gap, every new day opening gap, every CE, every 25% quadrant level, like everything, right? It's no matter what, always it's been crucial for me to keep that in the front of my mind, because again, that's one of my biggest pitfalls in my own trading, is the need to feel like I need to be right. And that leads to revenge trading and over trading and blowing up and going on tilt, right? Um, so that's why that is really so important. Now, the next thing on the list, number 4 out of 5, is keep the journey to yourself, especially in the beginning. I still remember times when I was just starting out. I was in college. It was 2020. So yeah, I've been August will be 5 years for me trading, and so I began when I was in college during COVID, and I literally remember, like, I would tell my friends about it. I would show them me placing trades on MT4, like micro lots, a point zero 0.01 lot on Euro USD, and like pretty much get made fun of for being up like 20 cents or down 20 cents on a trade. And I was like, I was super offended by it, because it was like, I'm trying to do something to change my life, and I find this to be like the coolest thing in the world, that I can make money from my phone like this, trading the euro against the dollar, and they're just coming at me right now. Um, and from that moment, I was like, I'm going to come back and I'm going to prove them wrong. And I guess it like helped with the mindset, but not in the beginning, honestly. Like, you really don't want to have that mindset of trying to prove anyone wrong, because if you do that, you're going to hurt yourself in trading. You're going to take trades that you shouldn't. Um, but that's kind of going off from what I wanted to actually get into with that, is keeping it to yourself, not talking to friends about it, not talking to family about it, not talking to girlfriends or boyfriends about it. husbands or wives about it, because I mean, I'm 5 years in and I still barely talk to my girlfriend about it, because this is something that I learned from my mentors, is that trading is such a sensitive thing to a person, where any like little thing can tweak your performance, and then you go off the tracks. And what I mean by that is, say you say you had a day where the price action was extremely tough, right? It was just a super tough day, and you were down 400 on the day, and then maybe you over traded a little bit, but then you were able to get back, and now you were up, maybe $70 on the day or something like that. And that might have been a bad example, but just think it was a super tough day, and you were able to get back, and you were super proud of yourself for being able to do that. And you made $70 on the day. You're not happy with the dollar amount. You're just happy with being able to mitigate the losses, right? Your girlfriend comes in, she says, "Hey, how much did you make today?" And you go, "I made $70." And she goes, "That's it?" And you're like, "That was like one of the hardest trading days that I've had." And you try to explain it to them. You say, "No, I was down this much." And then they go, "You were down $400?" And you go, "Yeah, but that's just part of the plan, because I was," and then she's like, What are you doing with our money? You're down $400 and you're happy that you made 70? Like, what are you doing?" And it's just asking to go down the wrong path, right? Because no one really understands trading unless you're a trader. And so you can't it's just best to not involve people who don't truly understand it. So that's just like a little example right there. I probably could have done a better one, but just one of the many reasons why you should keep it to yourself. Um, if you eventually, a couple years down the line, you want to start um, telling others about it, but still not getting into like dollar amounts or anything specific like that, people are asking about it, then sure. But I think it's always best to just try as best as possible to leave it to yourself and not let others into it, because it's like a sacred circle that you don't want to get tainted. All right, now the last things, the fifth biggest lesson in my 5 years of trading is find a mentor, not a marketer. And this kind of talks about what I was, or references what I was talking about earlier. It's a disgusting industry right now, especially. It's a lot different than when I first joined it. Um, I felt like during COVID and stuff like that, like 4 or 5 years ago, uh, it was more of like a united industry and not so combative. And now it is just the most toxic and disgusting industry and scammy industry that I've ever seen. And it sucks because I love the trading community and I love trading. It's my life. But there's just such a bad stigma around it. And it's not the typical stigma of trading's gambling, get a real job. The stigma is, I'm better than you. Let me puff my chest out on social media, and it's going to get more people to buy my course. And then I'm getting rich off of you when I can't even trade in the fucking first place. So that is, it's something that newer traders especially are going to fall for. People who aren't like emotionally aware, or just have situational awareness of how to tell a scammer from someone who has truly good intentions. Um, so when you're newer and learning, um, I would definitely recommend finding a mentor and finding a community, because it's going to make the journey a lot less lonely. It is a super lonely journey, and I've had many rock bottoms. I've had many falling outs with friends, people I don't talk to anymore. Um, Not because it was bad or anything like that, but just because I was so locked into learning how to trade, um, that it just got super lonely. And so, also not having any trading friends in real life. I have a couple now, but we don't even really talk about trading that much. It's all like online. What I'm doing is all online. But I made the mistake of not having a community to talk to, um, throughout my developing stages and things like that. Just people to talk to about like the trading day or questions that you may have. So I would really recommend finding like a mentor to learn a strategy from, whether it's ICT, which is what I recommend. Not ICT himself, but finding people who are profitable with ICT, learning from them, seeing how they use the strategy. That's the biggest thing, is not someone who just marks up charts after the fact bullshit like that. Someone who is going in every single day live with you, showing how they're using the strategy that they teach, and um, showing success with it. That's not 100% win rate success. It's showing how um, minimize losses, maximize gains, showing that the strategy is profitable, showing that they're trading it themselves and it actually works, right? Not someone who is. There's just so many people out there who only show winning trades that have discords. Like they refuse to trade live what they're teaching and selling you for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, but they won't show you how to do it live. Like if you actually sit back and think about that, it is ridiculous that anyone would even go in and buy a course when when the person is not showing you how to use it in a live market. I just think of so many people off of my head right now, and I would love to say it, but I'm not going to do that. But it's ridiculous how it's even a thing, and how they get these people to trust them because their marketing is so good. They're such good marketers that they trick these people. Again, it was just what I was talking about earlier, how people who are trying to learn trading are the most easily manipulated people. And so what they're doing is taking advantage of that, putting cool words and cool phrases around something that they're teaching and selling it to you. And they're not even showing you that they can do it live. They only show you after the fact. So take that, you know, extremely seriously. All of these things that I mentioned seriously, because if someone could have, sat me down and told me these things a while ago at the beginning of my journey, I would have been really grateful for it. I wouldn't have been able to understand the true capacity of it and the true depth of it. But talking about it now, those are without a doubt the five biggest lessons that I've learned after 5 years of trading. So if you made it through the video, I appreciate it. If you would, give the channel a sub, I would appreciate it. My goal for the channel is 100 subscribers by July. So if I could get there, I would be super happy about that. But yeah, again, thank you for watching, and yeah, good luck and good trading to you.